Hi everyone, it's Thomas and Niall from niallpoints.com, and we're back with another reaction video for MGP. This time we're going to react to all the songs from Heat 2. So we're going to go on ahead and start with the first song that we're going to react to, and that is the song Ulvaham, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, from the group called Gote. I may be butchering that name, but I've been studying Swedish, so I think that that's how they would pronounce it. So I'm guessing it's the same in Norwegian.
Who knows?
Anyway,
we're making a solid attempt. That's all you can ask for.
So sorry to all the Norwegian fans if we butchered that. You can always leave a comment below the video to tell us how we are supposed to pronounce it.
And also thank you very much to our one Norwegian fan so far. Andreas, it's been nice to have you comment on our YouTube video. Hopefully you like this one too. But yeah, let's get into this first song. Okay, so that was Gote with their song. I think it was a solid start. This is the second song, I think, where we've really gone sort of a traditional fusion with a different genre. Really, we had Ingrid with the fusion with that sort of more pop electronic. This is definitely more in that sort of rock vibe with that traditional feel, almost a little bit in the same sort of direction that Goe would go in. Obviously completely different from Goe, but that sort of same vibe in terms of traditional plus modern coming together. What do you think?
Nah, I'm not feeling it.
Not for you?
No, it's like on paper it would be something that I thought like that I would like, and I sort of hate the fact that I don't. It has everything, it has every ingredient for me to enjoy it, but there's something off about it. For me, it's just, I don't know how to explain it. I'm at a loss for words, but I was just thinking the whole time, like it feels like she's just sort of screaming throughout the song. There's not really much singing going on. Like I don't know. It's really not my thing. It sounds a bit like a vocal exercise at some point. It's just it doesn't really hang well together as a whole for me. It feels kind of goth in some way, so like sort of a bit metal-ish in a way. It reminds me of when I was a teenager and you'd have like kids dyeing their hair black and have like that sort of like, you know, like that half fringe, like the Justin Bieber haircut. And like the girls would have like a longer version of that. That's sort of what it reminds me of. But it feels unhinged. Is that the correct word? It feels, it not well put together. I can't explain it. I'm just,
That's fine. Thomas just doesn't like the song. There we go.
No, I don't.
That's his opinion.
I don't, and I want to like it, but I don't. No, not for me.
Nope. Maybe the next one will be for you, and it's one that I've been seeing probably the most on my timeline about, and has been very difficult to not listen to it, but I've been waiting for this moment. It is Erica Norwich featuring Super Rob, and the song is called My AI. So I think let's dive into this one and give it a little listen.
God, what was that all about?
There's a lot to unpack, and we don't have 18 minutes to discuss this. So I'm not. First of all, I'm not a fan of the vocoder sort of effect on the voice. That puts me off straight away.
But that's just the rule of MGP where they allow auto-tune. This is the kind of stuff that you're going to get, though, is it?
But actually, MGP have had, or NRK have had the rules clarified. They can't use it to change pitch and all the rest of it, like correct vocals, but they can add a vocoder effect, such as this. So this could be eligible in this format for Eurovision. Will we get there? I don't think so. There's one part of the song that I really want lyrically, or I don't even know if it's lyrically, but I want to unpack it, where she says, "Oh, Rob, I can't wait to meet, or I really want to meet you in person." I thought Rob was the robot, and there's a robot on stage, as far as I'm aware. So, like, surely that's meeting in person, or is she imagining that this robot has a personality, like, or like is a pet? What is going?
I was sort of thinking that maybe the robot is sort of controlled by a person, and that he's sort of like not like are scared to meet people in real life, so he sends his AI to meet people, and then if it goes well, he reveals himself.
So we're going to have
I don't know. I'm just saying
we're going to have Super Rob take off his helmet, a la Masked Singer. I mean, Masked Singer has been very popular throughout Europe. So.
Oh yeah, but the thing is, we already know who it is. So what's the point?
We think we know who it is.
No, look, the voice is instantly.
It's guilty. It's guilty, Emerson.
Yeah, it like there's no question.
Do we have anything nice to say about the song?
I do actually. I don't hate the song. I think it's a fun and catchy song. Do I want this at Eurovision? No. But it's a fun song. It's fun to have it in the mix. I don't know if this is going to qualify as easily as Give That Wolf a Banana did, because obviously that one won, so people really loved it. I feel like that one was a lot more instant. This one is, at least that one wasn't as silly. Like the act was silly with like the wolf masks, and the lyrics were a little bit silly, but the production of that song was insanely good. It was a very, very, very good song. I feel like this one, it's not a bad song, but it's not as instant. It doesn't grab me as quickly as Give That Wolf a Banana did. I feel like there's a little bit too much going on here. There's too much like use of the vocoder thing, as you said. And this is going to get, like, if this would get selected for Norway, this is going to get such a huge backlash on Euro Twitter. Can you imagine the stupid takes on Twitter? Like the Twitter's going to go wild, is what I'm trying to say. If this would win MGP, like they were already going crazy over Give That Wolf a Banana, calling it a joke entry, blah blah blah. Can you imagine if this one won? Like people would just go nuts. And also, I couldn't help but feeling like I was watching a sort of, I want to say 2024 version, but it doesn't really sound very 2024. I felt like I was sort of watching like a 2012 version of Barbie Girl by Aqua, where it has like the guy and the girl like singing to each other. That's sort of the vibe that it gave me.
Yeah, I think I've seen that comparison on Twitter as well. But I'm just... The only thing I have positive to say about this song is I think the ba-dee-dee-dee bum bit is going to get stuck in my head.
Oh, yeah.
I can see myself
walking. It's very catchy.
I can see myself making a cup of coffee and just going... But other than that, I don't really have anything positive to say about this song.
But I also want to add to that, because we're talking about possible Eurovision entries. We also have another band coming up at MGP, I think Heat 3 it is, that Kaino is competing. And they sort of have this, like, I've listened to the song, it's a completely different style than their other songs. It sort of gives me similar vibes where it's just like a fun pop song. I feel like a lot of people would prefer that one to My AI. We also have the likes of Joost Klein for Netherlands going to Eurovision. So I feel like, especially knowing that Joost Klein is going and is also doing this sort of like very niche act, it would be the stupidest thing for Norway to send this, because there's nobody that's going to vote for this if Joost Klein is in the mix. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
You'd just be stupid to send this. It's not strong enough. It's not good enough to compete with. And we haven't even heard Joost Klein's song, but you know it's going to be crazy. So
I wonder if it will be party as well.
Oh, definitely. So the next song that we're going to be reacting to is Your Mind by Emilio. He's Australian born, but now he wants to represent Norway at the Eurovision Song Contest. So let's see what he has in store for us, and let's see if he can grab the ticket to Malmö with his song.
There's only one thing I want to hear, and that's I think I must be confused, babe. The only one I want is you, babe. Well, that's okay, dude, cause you're mine, you're mine, you're mine. You know, I would never hurt you, baby, unless you try to leave me, then maybe, but that's okay too.
I feel like we're 3 songs in, right? How many are there? 6?
Yes.
I feel like while I was listening to it, I was thinking, like, did they allocate these artists in these heats before they heard the songs? Or did they sort of say, oh, well, let's just put all the good songs in heat 1 and all the not so good songs in heat 2? Because so far, there's not a single one of these 3 that sort of speaks to me.
I sort of agree with this one. I didn't enjoy it either, to be honest.
No.
It was giving me, this is a weird combination of sounds, but half of it sounded like Gladiator by Jan from last year's Polish selection, and then the other half sounded like High School Musical.
I want to sort of point out, there was like 2 moments throughout the song. I don't know what the lyrics are. I couldn't figure it out. This is going to sound graphic, but it sounded as if he said, my penis was here. And I was like, did he just say penis?
I didn't hear
like,
penis.
It's just me then. Maybe something's wrong with me. I don't know.
Maybe it's just Freudian.
I don't know.
Yeah, but did you not get the bit where he buried his girlfriend?
Oh, yeah.
Like,
that's why I wrote down confused, because that's how I felt.
I assumed it was some sort of breakup song, and then it sort of moved into I'm sad because I murdered my girlfriend and now I'm alone song. I'm
and
not
now
sure.
My penis is here.
It's almost like misogynistic thing of, if you're not going to be with me, you can't be with anyone. There were bits of the production I didn't mind. Those were mostly the bits that sounded a little bit Disney Channel-esque.
Yeah,
but a lot of it,
it had a good beat though.
Okay, so the 4th song that we have to listen to for MGP Heat 2 is "Touch of Venus" by Ellie Christian. I don't know what to expect here. I've not seen any sort of clips online, so let's dive in. Well, that was certainly a song. You mentioned vocal exercises previously for another song, but I feel like we should take that back for whatever song that said that for, and apply it directly to Ellie here.
At least it made sense. For Gotha, it made sense what she was doing. it fit with the song. I was listening, especially that in the final part when like the operatic voice came in. I was like, where did this come from? This is not. It so doesn't fit with the song. Like it feels like some opera singer suddenly walked in while she was recording and sort of did like this little.
Can I jump in?
Vocal exercise and then left through another door, and she just sort of kept going and didn't realize that there was someone singing opera behind her. That's what it felt like.
If you'd heard penis in the last song, I'm sure you heard it in this song. Touch of penis.
Oh.
Okay, so for the first part of that song, I was really okay with it. The vocal exercises did put me off a little bit, but I was going on thinking, okay, I could see this in some sort of really low budget James Bond film. There was a little bit of
maybe
drama.
like the Bollywood version of it.
Something, but there was a little bit of drama to the song, and then it just went wild. And I like you did with Emilio, I zoned out for a little bit. I genuinely looked. Yeah. I looked next to me on my desk, saw my Nintendo Switch, was like, I could be playing Mario Kart right now. But based on what we've heard so far, this might qualify for the final of MGP.
No, come on, like. Surely out of the four that we've heard, this is the weakest one. I wrote down, the only word that I wrote down while I was listening was the word desperate, which is what it sounded like at some point. I was like, did she hear the song herself and she kind of was like, oh no, this isn't good. Let me just add a little opera to it, just to like, as like a desperate attempt to make it more interesting or something. It was just so weird. I felt like it went so up and down and like in all kinds of directions it shouldn't have gone. I was so confused. I feel like that's the theme of this heat, confusion. I'm lost, just like I was with the first song. It was odd.
I had seen quite a lot of comments saying that MGP was a little bit weak this year. And after listening to the first 6 songs, I was like, I mean, I liked a few of them, and some of them, they weren't all bad. But this is a struggle. Like, we've got 2 more songs to listen to, and I'm genuinely don't know how I can put myself through it.
Okay, so the next song that we're going to be reacting to is "Judge Tenderly of Me" by Dag Erik and Anna. So yeah, really interested in what they have to offer. So let's give it a listen.
Flowers in the hair makes me tremble. In faded blue jeans I crumble. Anything I do, judge tenderly on me.
In my opinion, that's just not for me. It's not my type of music. The vocals were really good, especially Anna's vocals. I thought were really, really strong. But for me, the song just didn't go anywhere. I sort of blanked out a little bit during it. I was just like, there was no moments. Normally during a song, I think if you blank out, there's a moment towards the end that draws you back in, but there's nothing that really felt special about the. It just sort of stayed flat for me the whole way through.
I completely disagree. I feel like this is the first song in this heat that sort of had me hooked from start to finish. Maybe it is the fact that it stands out so much. I feel like the rest of it is so loud and there's a lot going on and silly and ridiculous and weird vocal things. And this one was just so soft and so harmonized, and it was just beautiful. So this one for me is maybe a little bit too much of a country vibe. So I'm not 100% like convinced that this would do well at Eurovision or anything, but in this heat, it is by far the best song. It is by far because we're obviously gonna do a prediction later, like we did with Heat 1. This is the only one so far where I can confidently say I think this is going to qualify and go to the final of MGP. I think they might be lucky being in this heat because I think a lot of people will watch this heat and go like, okay, this one stands out, and they might keep their eye out for it in the final and maybe even vote for it.
Like, at least we found something that one of us likes. Okay, so the final song for Heat 2 is Farida, and it's a song called Heartache. So let's see what she's got on offer.
He's the heartache of my life. Keep me up all night. I don't know if it's wrong or right. There's a heartbreak on the line.
Way, something. We got something.
Oh, I like
Thank you,
that.
Heat 2.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, absolutely. I think also the vocals were really good. I think the production was really good. Yeah, here we go, the winner of the heat. I think it's a safe bet to make.
Yeah, this is save the best for last. Like,
yeah,
that's the least you could say. And again, I did really like the previous song as well. But this one is just, it was so much fun. And then when the beat kicks in, I was like, oh yeah, this is what we've been waiting for, like a banger from Heat 2. And obviously, like we have a an up-tempo song in My AI, which I'm sure a lot of people will like. I didn't dislike it either, but this one for me is just, yeah, it tops that. It's just so much fun, and it's more original than My AI. It's just, it feels almost a little traditional in a way. It feels a little folky in a way.
Especially at the start, for sure.
Yeah, but like with a modern twist. Yeah, this was really nice. She looks really good as well. Staging can make or break a song like this. Because when you listen to national finals, or when you listen to a song in general that gets selected for Eurovision, for example, and you're a really big fan of it, and then you worry about the staging, and then you see the staging and you're like, yeah, this is exactly why I was worried, because a good song is now ruined with bad staging. So I'll not lie, I'm a little worried for her staging. I hope they manage to cross the vibe from the song in the staging, and not make it too simple, but also not too crazy.
Okay, so that's the last song. This is going to be the tricky bit. This is going to be the tricky bit. How do we find our top 3? So I think this heat is a little bit trickier to choose 3 qualifiers, and I don't think the trickiness is in choosing who not to qualify. I think we can both agree on the first qualifier, our first place from this one, Farida.
Yeah, I agree. She's a hard number 1. It was, like we said, it was just fun. It was cute. It was something else. It felt modern, but with like a traditional vibe to it. In second place, I'm going to put Dag Erik and Anne. This for me, and just because it stands out so much, this I would not count out as a possible winner of this heat. I have no idea how the Norwegian public is going to vote, but there's such a difference between this one and all the rest of this heat that I could see a lot of people going for this and enjoying this if they stage it tastefully. So it's my number 2 personally.
Interesting. My number 2 is Galte with Alvahan. I think I did like the traditional vibe with the rock.
It's a grower, I suppose. And I feel like I could... To me, there's just a lot of work to be done on this song, especially lyrics-wise. A bit too all over the place for me. but it would be a good one to have in the mix in the final, I suppose. I'm actually torn for my numbers because this is where it gets tricky. I had like two where I was like 100% certain this is it. And now I'm torn between Gote or my AI. I feel like Norway tends to like these sort of traditional songs, so I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that Gote is probably gonna qualify.
Okay.
But I'm gonna put Erika, Norwick, and Super Rob at my personal top 3 spots. So I would rather see that one qualify.
Yeah, it's difficult. I think I would agree. I would put Erika Norwich and Super Rob, my AI, in 3rd place. But I think for me, that's narrowly pushing out Dog Eric and Anne with the Judge Tenderly of Me song, even though it wasn't for my taste. It was better than the other two, in my opinion. And I can appreciate a good vocalist's more than I can a nonsensical song. But that's us, I guess. So thank you very much for joining us again for an MGP reaction. We've got one more to do, and that's Heat 3. That's going to come next week.
Yeah, so you can obviously follow us on Twitter and Instagram at niallpoints.blog. You can also find us on our website, niallpoints.com. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at I'm_Tomas_W.
And you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at niallpoints. Thank you very much again for joining, and speak to you soon.
Bye.